Louise Margaret Brown was born on February 26, 1912. Her mother, Louise Margaret Junker, born around the 1890s, was from the Junker family. Junker, also spelled Junker, had a long history in military roles in Germany. With the formation of the German Empire in 1871, the Junkers dominated the Central German government and the Persian military. Louise Junker was characterized as having a military demeanor, who required things to be done properly and in order. Jawohl. Louise's father, Robert, on the other hand, was remembered as a happy-go-lucky Irishman. He worked as a construction engineer for the American Locomotive Company. He traveled extensively and was gone for long periods. One of his adventures was to China to help build the Canton Railway in 1910-1911. Louise and Robert had their first child, Bob, around 1910. The second child, a girl named Louise Margaret Brown, was born on February 26, 1912. A sister, Bertha, was born a couple of years later. Louise attended school number 5 in Totowa section of Patterson. She attended church with her aunt and became a member of the junior choir at the Totowa Presbyterian Church. Although she wrote, "I did not really know what it meant." At that time, they lived in Totowa, where Robert would be close to the American Locomotive Company in Patterson, New Jersey. American Locomotive Company continued building new steam locomotives at the Rogers plant in Patterson until 1913, but eventually sold the property to private investors in 1925. Robert was then transferred to the Chicago office, and the family moved to Chicago. Louise was now 13 years of age. The family now joined the Buena Memorial Presbyterian Church. At 14 or 15, she became disinterested in church and dropped out for a short time. She became more interested in playing sports, particularly basketball. Because of some friends in her social life, she started attending Berry Memorial Methodist Church. She graduated from the General Latin course at Senn High School in Chicago. She then completed a 10-month secretarial course at the Business College of Chicago. She later wrote, "When I was 19, the Lord began dealing with me. My sister Bertha told me the plan of salvation, and I always thought, if the end of the world came, I would just have Bert save me." Bert invited her to the Chicago Business Women's Council meetings. She wrote, "I became convicted and ended up on my knees at home with Bert, and I accepted the Lord. I began singing in a trio with my sister and a friend. I asked the pastor in the Methodist Church for a Sunday school class. This led me to being the superintendent of the Sunday school. I was asked to organize a young women's class for Bible discussion, which I led for a year. I was only saved for a short time, but the Lord certainly gave me wisdom and boldness in witnessing for Him." She also attended Moody evening classes for 2 terms. In 1933-34, she moved back to Patterson as her father had lost his position and wanted to be near the main office in New York City. She recalls, "I was employed by the New Jersey Bell Telephone Company." She moved up from a clerk to a secretarial position in her 5 years of working for that company. She once again became active in Christian work. She was a volunteer at the Star of Hope Mission. She was baptized and became a member of the Madison Avenue Baptist Church in Patterson, where she taught 3 Sunday school classes, primary girls, adolescent girls, and boys and junior adolescents. She also attended the Hawthorne Evening Bible School and graduated from their 3-year course. The Hawthorne Gospel Church was started as a result of Billy's Sunday evangelism campaign. The church was located in Hawthorne on Lafayette Ave. The pastor would become Herman G. Braunlin. Louise's sister Bertha would serve as his secretary for a number of years. The church offered a 3-year course at the Hawthorne Evening Bible School, which is now known as the Hawthorne Community Bible School. Our dear friend Don Klingon is now on the faculty of that school. In September of 1938, at the age of 26, Louise Brown enrolled in the Moody Bible Institute of Chicago. She was to complete the missionary course. Hearing my father tell of his travels in China and Japan as a child, I had the desire in my heart to someday be a missionary, she wrote. She said she recalled her father going to church with the family and teaching a young man's Bible class, but in his travels he drifted away from the church. After she went away to Moody, her dad and mother separated. Her mother remained the matriarch of the family. On April 24, 1941, Louise Margaret Brown graduated from Moody Bible Institute. At the end of her time at Moody, she had decided between India and Chile, and she felt led to go to Chile. Due to a heart condition, she was not accepted by the Soldiers in Gospel Mission to South America. She reapplied as a stenographer to the mission. At the same time, the head in South America, Mr. Strong, wrote of a desperate need for a secretary for the headquarters there. The Lord had guided Louise to Chile. She was off to the mission field with the Soldiers and Gospel Mission of South America and Chile. In June of 1942, she wrote from Coahuila, Chile. Greetings from Chile. After 4 months spent in the land of my adoption, she went on to describe the poverty she sees all around, but warm and accepting people. She describes visiting a one-room house with boxes for chairs. She also shares her partaking of mate, a strong tea that passed around like a peace pipe. She described planning gospel meetings for the summer at the mountains and the seashore, where she will play and sing. She also is working on her Spanish skills. She describes as quite a picnic at this point. She seems to have gone far beyond being a secretary at headquarters. At that time, she had no idea who she would be meeting that would change the next part of her journey in Chile.